Welcome back to another episode of Joe's Jive. A lot of stuff has gone down since I last came on here alive. Life is always changing, and we're all rearranging, but this is our chance to rise up and dance. Rise up and dance. Get off the chair. Stand up, let down your hair. And it's time not to care. Don't care how you look. Don't care, just sit down and read a book. In today's world, it's a gift if you have a moment to just listen to the wind. Feel the breeze coming down over your head. Thank the Lord, oh the Creator, that you are not dead. And when the time comes, it's time to leave the world, baby. Be thankful for your journey. The journey is the destination, and no, you don't need to get there in a hurry. Enjoy the ride. When you see a stranger, smile wide. Thank you for coming to my show. My name is Jolly Joe. Another episode of Joe's Java Jive is here. Although this one is very special, very different than the normal episode, because I'm honoring today someone who's passed. Just like I did a few episodes ago when I was honoring Vicky Agan, my mother. Today, we're honoring the spirit, the legend, the amazing Robert Anthony Davis, who is my uncle and is truly an amazing person that had such an impact on the world. He really was someone who shared his big, bright spirit with all he encountered, just like me. And I'm very thankful for Bob and for the wisdom and the things that he taught me. So what we're doing today is a little different because I never actually got to sit down and interview my uncle, but I did, in fact, have a chance to listen to an amazing interview that was put together by the amazing Northern Berkshire Community Television program. And myself, I'm a member of New Paltz Public Access Television. I'm the creative director for that. And I'm always a big believer of using public access as a way to document our history and tell our story. So thank the incredible people over there. And from Consider the Source, we wanted to thank you again for letting us re-air this interview with my uncle. But before we get into that, I want to share this recording, which was done shortly after the funeral. And it's kind of a recreation of what I spoke of at my uncle's ceremony, a celebration of life. And I think it's a great way to introduce you to him from my perspective and then we'll go into the actual interview with him. And I'll come back in at the end after listening to it and talk about things that I learned about my amazing Uncle Bob. So without further ado, here's the audio recording of me from a few weeks ago. And I will always remember the incredible Bob Davis each and every day. So thank you for listening. I know this is a little unusual, but we're going to listen to me without any camera talking about my amazing uncle. And following that, we will have the most beautiful shared interview that we have of him talking about music, talking about his oud, and I can't wait for you to see it and get to know the man, the myth, the legend, Bob Davis. So without further ado, here is the audio, followed by the video, coming soon. Welcome to Joe's Java Jive. Episode 34 is going to be a little different than normal. I am reflecting on an amazing person. My name is Joseph Anthony Davis, and I wanted to tell you today about Robert Anthony Davis. Born and raised in North Adams, Massachusetts, in the Berkshires, Bob led a life filled with love. Every day, he went inside the world with compassion and community, constantly opening his heart up to anyone who was lucky enough to get a lesson from him. I got many lessons from my Uncle Bob, from anything as beautiful as learning how to be a respectful man or a family man, to learning music and teaching me the beauty of reading music, which both him and I tend to be more of a playing from the heart kind of guy. And he has hundreds of Middle Eastern traditional oud songs memorized that he had played at several concerts around the world. He also taught the basics to his nephew. You know, like the acronyms to memorize the basic musical notes so you can read the clef. What we have in the spaces is F-A-C-E, face. And what about on the lines here? E, G, B, D, F. Or, as I like to say, every good boy deserves fudge. Well, that's the big lesson here, folks. Don't turn down the fudge of life. The little magical moments. And fudge was something sold by his wife, Pauline, and the family up at the wigwam. They had this incredible place there for Ina and Werner Gertzi, and it's incredible to see what they have done. And we had got to see Ina at Bob's funeral share a little bit more about him and the story of how he met Pauline. They were actually putting together an event in the old City Hall building, and it was a amazing haunted house, and they had this room, Bob and my dad Jim, which was the Star Wars room. My dad was even Chewbacca and tipped and fell over and hurt himself, but stayed in character on the ground wiggling. But that's not what this story's about. The story is, he said, Bob, you got to go look down there. There's a beautiful woman. She could be your next wife. Who knows? She could be your wife someday. And Bob, sure enough, goes and introduces himself and meets Pauline and brings her home a big bowl of Situ's stew and brought her back a plate of food. And that's, the rest is history. So that's a story we hear. And I just shared a little more about my Uncle Bob and who he was to me. Truly, the first person who sat me down and gave me my intro to music theory. How lucky is that? And I always would be very happy to leave with a big stack of notes that this is your lesson. He then one day gave me an oud to take home and a piece of paper of what the tunings are, how to tune it. He really went above and beyond, and I will one day take that instrument to the next level and be helped. I will be taught the lessons from the people that he taught so that the gift will keep on giving. Music is the gift of life. Music is what feelings sound like. It's how we all dance together and enjoy the magic. In nature, you go step outside your door. There's music in the wind, in the chipmunks, the trees, the birds and the bees. It's everywhere. The fact is, my Uncle Bob was a musician. He was a mystic. He was a beautiful, magical man, a maestro that I will be forever thankful for. We love you, Uncle Bob, and I'm very excited to say that I have acquired the gift of Bob Davis, his voice and looks. I am half as handsome as he was, and I did don the mustache for the funeral, and that is my current look. I'm gonna grow in a little more beard, but I think this phase will not be lost on me, and I'm going to be returning to the stash. But I want to encourage you all to go to North Adams and check it out. He was an amazing landlord there, a community member. He was also involved in the Northern Community Television, NCCT, Northern Berkshires Community Television, and they have a public access station. So I am very excited to one day show you him explaining the history of the oud and the presentation that Bob Davis did. But he was the vice president and was a very crucial member of that. And here I am in New Paltz, bringing New Paltz public access television back to life. One of our many similarities, including our middle and last name, Robert Anthony Davis, taught me so many things, and it's in his nature to be a helper. It goes without saying that he would take time and talk through any challenge that somebody was facing. He had a playful side to him that I was so lucky to experience. After coming from North Adams, many times we would come up from New York State to my dad's hometown, and I was so excited to walk in through the door, and I finally knew I was at my home away from home when I got to climb on top of Uncle Bob, sit right on his perfect spot made for me on his belly. It was the most comforting soul, and I knew all of his grandkids got to experience what I'm talking about here. To have and remember that warm spot just over his head is truly a gift. And I wanted to say that is still here for us all. And those who knew him, and those who are learning about him for the first time, you know that we can all sit on that beautiful belly of Uncle Bob in a more spiritual way now. When you sit down for a beautiful plate of food, or you listen to an amazing track of your favorite song, or you laugh at a great joke, think of him and his beautiful smile. A master, a maestro, and a magical man like no other. Thank you, Bob, for your eternal influence on the Davises and the world, because there truly is a butterfly effect of Bob that goes far beyond this room. Uncle Bob taught me something else. When I was very young At 4 years old, I'll never forget getting right back on that special spot on his heart. And for my first lesson behind the wheel of a large automobile. And I asked myself, how did I get here? Well, Uncle Bob was kind enough to have the 4-year-old Jolly Joe Jester get a lesson in driving. I think we were at the parking lot of Fish Pond or maybe near the beach. And I remember my dad was not too happy with him when we got back to State Street. Why are you teaching my son how to drive? I wanted to do that with him when he was 16. Not now. I had to show him. It was just the kind of guy he was. And his feet were on the brakes, so I knew I was in good hands. Well, Bobby taught us much more than driving lessons or music lessons. He taught us how to live a life with compassion, love, and music. So thankful for everyone who came here to celebrate Bob at this podcast. And I want you to all raise a coffee mug, and we're going to say Yalla to the balcony in the cosmos. Ready? Yalla! Which means follow me, Bob. Come along for the ride. We love you, and we're thinking of you. And you are a symbol of peace and love. As I talk about the world now, we need more Bobs in it. That's the thing. That's why I shaved. My mustache is ready. We need a Bob Davis in every city. If the whole world had a little bit more Bob in it, we would all be singing in a constant huffly in heaven, which is where he is now, joining Vicky Sue and my grandpa Louis Davis and my grandma Shirley, which we call grandma and grandpa Jiddu and Sittu. I want to thank you, and for those who are learning of my more Middle Eastern Lebanese descent, I would like to say, yes, I am proud to have many different pieces to my ancestry, and that this is something I take a lot of pride in, and that we really can't snuff out the Middle Eastern culture of American people who came from the Middle East, and also those who are living today and are in harm's way in Palestine and Iran. We have to have peace. And myself, I'm a Lebanese guy. I also have my grandpa's side, who has a Revolutionary War hero, and a person who formed a church in early America, Captain Michael McGuire. And we have a long history of being leaders on the Middle Eastern side too. I recently learned that the origins of my name came from Daibus, not Davis, D-A-I-B-I-S, which apparently the Arabic root of that word is strong leader, a powerful person, a Daibus. So I hope to one day return and see what Lebanon is all about, and truly follow in my uncle's footsteps of celebrating his heritage, the music, and singing the Arabic language. So to all of my brothers, sisters from all over the world, and those without pronouns, each and every soul on this earth, we are family. We are in this together. Uncle Bob is your Uncle Bob too. We all have a little Uncle Bob in our hearts. We want to send this to you, and we hope that you and the world can remain in harmony and peace for eternity. Now, let's go dive in a little bit deeper and take a look at some of the things that were talked about right here on this amazing podcast. So
welcome to Solutions Rising. I'm Rachel Branch, and I am delighted and honored that Mr. Bob Davis is joining me today, a musician extraordinaire. And we have quite a show planned, and it's going to be a whole show of high notes. Welcome, Bob.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm thrilled that you're here.
It's an honor to be here and looking forward to entertaining and educating the people about the culture and music of the Middle East and all around the world.
And you're the number one person to be doing this.
Well, maybe in North Adams, but...
Oh, I think you have a little international experience you're going to tell us about.
I do.
So let's start with some background information about you and your musical aspirations and achievements, how it started.
Well, I started as a young child in my parents' home. My mother and father were both very musically inclined, both singing and playing musical instruments. My father, he sang in the church choir. He could play the piano. He could play the instrument, the oud that I'm going to be playing soon. And his mother came to America in the early 1900s from Lebanon. And she was quite an influence on me because I always remember her sitting in the living room after supper, singing songs from her childhood, and my father accompanying her with the oud, and I would play the derbaki, they call it, or tabla. It's a hand drum. And my father, he was always an entertainer. He traveled all over the Northeast. He never traveled international, but he played many haflis, parties, maharajans for Middle Eastern weddings and parties and stuff. And he had musician friends coming to our house all the time. So he and my grandmother and my mother were all a great influence on my musical ability. I mean, I've always heard music in the house, even though I never took any music lessons until I went to college. I always started out playing either the piano or the guitar, American drums, the Middle Eastern drums. So it was always by ear, my whole foundation.
It's a great gift, but also to have that influence in the home with your parents and your grandmother.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. Like I say, and every time we had company, they'd all come down, we would eat, we would drink, and then we would start playing music, and people would be dancing in the living room, dining room, whatever. It was really a great inspiration for me to learn the instrument that I'm playing a lot now. I never really got a chance to start to play this until I was probably 16, 17, 18. My father just said, "Here, I want to show you this. Here, just play a few notes on this." And he got me started on it, and then I just practiced and practiced until I got to where I am today. Obviously, I've also been to different educational facilities to learn how to play this professionally. Even though I did the best I could with my family playing, we started out with my brothers and sisters and stuff, and but then I started meeting higher level musicians and started playing with them and meeting, all kinds of different people throughout my journey until in the year 2000, I started going to this thing called the Arab Music Retreat at Mount Holyoke College in South Hadley. And that was an eye-opener for me, because there I learned the classical maqam, which are the scales of Arabic music, the ikar, which are the rhythms. I learned the technical part of music, even though when I studied there, we had to play 2 chamber music pieces and 3 orchestration pieces. I was like really, drawn back, because all these musicians that I'm playing with were professional musicians, ethnomusicologists. I mean,
A little intimidating.
Yeah, well, was I ever? Because I never could. I mean, I could read sheet music because I took courses at MCLA, or at that time it was called North Adams State College, with Dr. Dwight Killam and Christine Conderas, who's now the director of music up there. But that's where I first learned actually how to read sheet music and stuff, and played the piano for one semester and then took applied music guitar for another semester. But like I was telling you before, I did my final exam, 5 pieces of music by memory. And Dr. Killam was so impressed that he gave me his own personal piano. And I did the same with the guitar. I learned the pieces. I read the sheet music. I played them slowly, but once it got into my mind, then I was able to play it by memory.
Oh, that's a fantastic gift. So this is called an oud?
Oh, yes.
And
This
is this like your favorite instrument?
Yeah,
or
right now
the
it
one
is.
You're
Yeah.
playing the most?
Yeah, this
You want to
instrument.
describe this?
Yeah, this instrument is the mother instrument of the lute and the grandfather instrument of the guitar. It's all wood. There's no metal parts in it. The pegs are wood. The fingerboard, there's no frets in it, so you have to know exactly where you're going to put your finger to get the sound.
Doesn't the lute go way, way back?
The lute goes way back, but this instrument goes back over 5,000 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a rumor that this instrument, the oud, was invented by the 5th grandson of Adam. I mean, Adam and Eve.
Adam, yes, as in Adam and Eve.
Yeah, as in Adam and Eve, but I don't know if that's true or not, but that's
It
some
sounds
of the thing.
beautiful.
But I mean, this instrument has 6 pairs of strings, and the bass string is by itself. The inlay, sometimes this inlay is mother of pearl and ivory. The back is round, as you can see. It's kind of like a, I don't know, what you would call this, a teardrop type thing here. But the pegs are made out of wood. And this instrument, the plectrum, the pick, they call it a rishi, was originally an eagle's feather. They took the end of the eagle's feather and they used this. But because this is not like,
Whoop,
I know I have to shut that off.
that's all right.
Hold on a second.
Somebody trying to get into a little music with us. That's okay.
What is this stupid thing? There we go. Sorry about that.
No big deal.
Yeah. So
A little
this instrument.
side music, a little side note. Now,
So-
before you start, before the show, you were showing
Oh,
something
the
inside.
rosette in
Did you
here.
have this made?
I had this rosette, the inside thing here. It's the cedar of Lebanon. The cedar of Lebanon is it's on the national flag of Lebanon. The cedar of Lebanon, back in the days of Solomon, the Solomon's castle and stuff, his temple or whatever, was made from the cedars of Lebanon. The cedar is so important, and Lebanon so important, it was mentioned over 70 times in the Bible. Because Lebanon, it was right next to Israel, where Jesus and all the apostles, and they walked through the road to Damascus through Lebanon. But very religious country Lebanon is. Some of the first Christian churches were built in the mountains in Lebanon, built right inside the mountains because they were afraid, with the I don't want to say the crucifixion of Jesus. They didn't want to be martyred or killed, so they actually built their first churches inside the wall. And I've been there. I've been in those first things.
I've been to Beirut too in October of 1966. I loved it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Incredible international city.
But anyways, back to some of the instruments. This oud here, I'll just show you this a little bit, and I'll just play a few of the notes. The notes are C, a G, and D, and A, and this is a bass of this G, and this is a bass of the D. So the plectrum, this risha, you can do. you a lot of flexibility to do tremolos. So this is like the main accompanying instrument of the vocalists throughout the Middle East, throughout Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco,
Libya.
Libya,
Where I lived for 2 years. That's
right, Iran, Iraq, all of the whole Middle Eastern, all around the Mediterranean, all the way even up to Greece. I mean, the Greek people, they play the oud as well. And when I was growing up, I played with Greek musicians. I played with Turkish musicians, Egyptian musicians, Syrian musicians, Israeli, from Israel musicians. And at the retreat, all of us played together. There's musicians from all over the world, and not just the Middle East, from Japan and China and Russia. I mean, countries all, Australia, I also record all of the concerts, and then I send them out to these people. And Dave Fabiano will tell you that he looks through the list of people that I know, and they're all over the world.
And of course, you and I both agree that music is just the international language.
Oh, absolutely.
It crosses every border, and
absolutely.
It's about human beings and joy.
Yeah. I've met some unbelievable people, Rachel. I mean, from every aspect of life, to international stars that come to this retreat to either teach or learn different styles of music. People that were students at this retreat and then became superstars, in the United States, like Michael Ibrahim. He was one of my roommates and a student. He's now the conductor of the National Arab Orchestra out in Michigan.
Oh my goodness.
Dearborn. Yeah, unbelievable. Before I even went there was a guy named Marcel Khalifi, who's like one of the biggest stars in Lebanon today. Now we have the head of the retreat. His name is Simon Shaheen. He plays the oud and the violin. He teaches at Berkeley. He's you want to talk about a phenomenal musician and educator, that's him, Simon Shaheen.
Well, this is not your first show on NBCTC, so people can find your other shows.
I have edited parties that I've played at, concerts, a retreat, the entire Arab music retreat, which is probably like 2 hours long. And now this show here, the last month I did a show which we'll show later at the Shea Theater in Turner's Fall, Massachusetts. I bring Dave in. He allows me to take the camera and videotape our concerts, our performances, and we bring them back here. And it seems to be very popular. The people enjoy it. And it's not just the Arabic people. People from every ethnic background enjoy it. Because Middle Eastern music, believe it or not, is the origin of music. I mean, and we were talking before about the Quran. Not only is the language, but the musical scales that we play come from the Quran. They're called maqam. Maqam are scales that don't just include, let's say, for instance, on the piano, when you have the C note, and then you go a half a note higher, it's a C sharp, and then a half a note higher, it's the D, and so on and so forth. They're half-tone increments. In Middle Eastern music, we have microtones. They're not exactly quarter tones. It's almost like you can cut the keys in half again to play these. It gives it a whole different flavor. So these maqam, or in plural maqamet, are what we learn at these retreats. Even though I played them all before I went to this educational thing, I never knew what they were called. If somebody said, "Can you play this song, Longa Nahawan?" Now, Nahawan is one of the scales, one of the maqam, and it's played, in Nahawan. You have to play the notes in order up the scale. Or can you play, Hijaz on D, which means you have to play certain notes to get to this scale. So I didn't know that, but now I know that. But I still, like I say, even though I can read the sheet music, I can play it but I certainly do every concert play by ear. Which gives you one thing, it gives you the ability to improvise. If a singer sings a little bit higher, you can start the song at a higher note and follow the singer, so that's nice. If you don't know how to do that, you have to transpose all the notes. Some of these classically trained musicians that only read sheet music, they
You'd have to have a totally separate
Yeah,
piece of sheet
they
music to be able to do
they
it.
actually do.
I
You-
can't transpose. Oh.
Yeah, it's very hard. But anyways, it's really enjoyable for me to play all this kind of music. So
Are you going
there-
to play a little bit?
I'll play a little bit,
And-
and I'll just show you some of the other instruments. This is called a rick, R-I-Q. It looks like a tambourine. It's got these zills, these cymbals on it. It's tunable. There's a little Allen wrench that you can turn the skin. The old days, the skin used to be out of goat skin or fish skin. They stretch it across it, and then you'd have to heat it up to make it taut. But the rick player hits the skin with this ring finger to get this doom sound, and then when you put your finger on it, it kind of has this tech, they call it tech sound, so you can go. And then if you want to incorporate the zills, so, and there's different rhythms. This rhythm, maksum, is for fast dancing. And then you can have this other rhythm called a samai. Doom, ala tak, ala doom, doom, tak. 1, 2, doom, tak, doom, doom, tak. Rest, rest. So it's a. Now, for something like that, you also can accompany with this goblet shaped instrument. This is called a tabla or a darbuka or darbaki, depending on what country you're from.
It's beautiful.
This is made in Egypt. It's very expensive. This is probably $500-600. You can see that it has inlay mother of pearl. It's made out of aluminum. It's got a fiber skin head. Gawat al-Fan is the name of this. And this also, it has that doom sound in the tech. Typically, the musician will hold it down here on the left or the right side.
Wow.
So this keeps the rhythm going, and they call the rhythms Ika, I-Q-A. And there's numerous, dozens of different rhythms. And if you read the sheet music when we're playing compositions, they will tell you what rhythm the music is in. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say we don't want to miss the program we're going to show in Holyoke with the belly dancer.
Oh yeah. We'll show that. We'll show
shortly.
that soon. So let me just play this before, like I tell you, this samai. So the drummer, that would be the rhythm, and then the musicians would start. If that was too low and the singer said, can you go up to the next string, I would start here or here. Kind of a religious type song that they would sing, so that religion would be slow. If you wanted a faster type rhythm, they call it a longa. And it would be a nahawen. It would sound something like this. be a longa. Yeah, it's
This is
fancy.
so much nostalgia for me. It takes me right back to when I lived
yeah.
in Tripoli.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. So, what else would you like to talk about?
I want you to introduce this piece that we're going to listen to because I don't want to run out of time.
Oh, okay.
So if you would introduce
This
that.
is a show that we did October 4th, I think. It was at the Shea Theater in Turner's Fall, Massachusetts. It's a song called Laylat Hab. It's composed by Muhammad Abdul Wahab, a very famous Egyptian composer for the Egyptian diva Kulthum. So I think Dave will play that. And the belly dancer that's dancing with us, her name is Sahina.
Oh, I think that's just awesome, Bob. I just can't wait till, well, you must come back. We must do another show.
I will definitely come back. I'll try and
And you
bring.
have several groups.
I have this group called the Zaytuns, which means olive in the Middle East. I have a professional six-piece ensemble that I play with. I have the Pioneer Valley Arab Music Ensemble that's in Northampton, Pioneer Valley, and I have the orchestra at Mount Holyoke College at the Arab Music Retreat.
So I think we'll have to put on the community calendar here so people can go and see these different
Absolutely.
programs. I am just so grateful that you were here.
Thank you for having me.
It's just a
And,
joy. This was just so much
I know
fun.
you can't squeeze all this into a half an hour
No,
show, so
no.
we'll come back
Oh,
and
absolutely, absolutely.
have fun.
And if each one of us picked up one problem and solved it, imagine the incredible view we would all have of solutions rising. And gosh, Bob Davis and his music is certainly a solution rising every time he plays his music and all the people that it touches their lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel. It's been a pleasure being here. Take care.
So yes, we are back, and I am just so blown away by all of that information that we just took in. And we're going to slowly digest what just unfolded. So, wow. First thing, I am just so blown away by the quality and the amazing work that they did documenting his story and getting a personality and hearing about my family and the role that music had on Bob. So I'm blown away by that, and I'm just so thankful that we have this incredible footage with my uncle Bob Davis. Thank you so much to the folks over there, Rachel at Solutions Rising. I'm so glad you made this. And, to hear my uncle talk about the different rhythms and how he went from, studying music on his own, being inspired by my grandpa and grandma, and even my grandpa's mother singing songs to Bob when he was young in a language he didn't even fully understand, to then, going to this musical retreats with Simone Shaheen and Mount Holyoke College. The Middle Eastern Arabic retreats are incredible, and I'm super excited to be going this week to go and carry on Bob's legacy of witnessing and documenting the amazing event. So I'm hoping to carry on the traditions, and I'm very inspired by my uncle. What an amazing man. And I loved that interview on how he educated us all about the cedars of Lebanon, the history of music, and, truly just about a little taste of what his journey was and how he became such a master at this instrument. But the man I know was always so kind, considerate, and inquisitive about the people in his life, his family. He just was a very attentive and sweet guy that I'm so lucky that I had a chance to meet from him and learn from him. And just like his own dad, my grandpa, or Jiddu, as we say, got him started in the oud, I'm very excited to report that Bob gave me an oud as well. So I'm going to grab it and just show it to you because this is what it's all about. So here it is, folks. The first one of my life. And, I thank him for giving me that initial lesson and getting me started with Miserlou and the beauty that is this instrument. It's got an amazing shape to it. Kind of reminds me of my own shape. And it's an ancient instrument that, as you said, it goes back many moons, apparently even related to Adam from Adam and Eve. So this is an amazing history. And then I encourage you all, get started. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to try. You just have to have a part of you that wants to learn and wants to continue on your journey as a musician. And so, as I learn about my uncle more and more, and as time goes on, I learn that really it's about getting excited about it. And as soon as those rhythms kick in and he starts playing, something in me comes out that is so joyful and full of love. And you see that he truly was someone who brought that joy out and, would go every week to different music groups, even in Northampton, Massachusetts, meeting. And I got to meet some of these people who he had an effect on. And it was just very special. The people that he touched who are also trying to learn these instruments and going down similar paths, it's pretty amazing to see what that all becomes and how they are affected by him because of course they gave an amazing concert at the actual ceremony, and the celebration of his life was filled with people honoring him and sending a lot of love. But I was blown away by the conversations I had and how people were coming up to me with my mustache and saying, "Okay, you must be related to him. Come on." And it was very special that to see these people and find a way to connect. And there was this woman, Miriam, who was a oud player and had shared with me just the effects that Bob had and how much she's going to miss him and what a true legend he is, and how they were so honored to be honoring him with this music that he loved and would play with them and teach them. So his big presence is missed greatly, and I feel it close to my soul, close to my spirit. He's a very special man that I will continue honoring for the rest of my life. And I just knew I had to do something on this podcast to really memorialize him in my own way and tell my family and friends that I encourage you, come on my podcast and let's talk about you and your memories of Bob, and let's talk about your life, because I wish I could have had him on here directly. That was the one thing. As soon as this all started happening, you just crave 1,000 more hours and get-togethers with these people. And for all of those who honor him and who are going to be missing him at this Middle Eastern retreat where he was always so present and documenting, just know that the family of Bob, we all love and appreciate your support, and those who are missing him, and my Aunt Pauline, and my cousins Matt, Missy, Melissa, and Angie, Angela. We're thinking of you and sending you a lot of love in this moment. Spread the love to everyone you encounter. Life is too short to get hung up on the small moments where it didn't work out, or life is too short to not learn these things, because clearly music is in my bones, it's in my heart. So I went out, and shortly after Bob passed on, I went out and performed in his honor and played the Middle Eastern scale and also the Jewish Hava Nagila and the Mizerlu, which I learned from, the incredible Rick Dale, and I believe Uncle Bob actually worked with him, Dick Dale, Dick Dale. But what I wanted to say is that moment from the interview where he said, Israeli and Middle Eastern, Japanese, Australian, everybody from all over the world came together over music. And that is the true factor here. If we can bring the world a little bit closer and using the power of music and love, if we can share that with all, then we're doing something right. So please spread the love. Give a call to someone, an uncle, an aunt, a mom, a dad. If you have them, you're lucky to have them. Life is short and every second counts. Peace, love, and coffee. Thanks for listening to Joe's Java Jive. I'm your host, Jolly Joe Jester. Cheers, and I will play us out. All right. He was a special guy. I'm so thankful he was in my life. Uncle Bobby will miss you. There's nothing I'd rather do than say I love you. Yeah, and I always will too. Yeah, Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby. We love you. We love you. Love you, Uncle Bob. Peace, love, and happiness. This is my life, and it's ending one moment at a time. Make it count. Thanks for calling. This is Joe. How can I help you today?
So this is a song I wrote about my uncle and recorded with some of the people here today. So thank you for your help, Ryan and Serena. it comes and stays. We all must pray and thank our Maker.
Take your hands with the neighbor over there. Bring out the love from up above. Everybody, come on, let me hear you say love. Love, love is the answer. Oh, love is the answer. Love is the answer.